Good morning, everybody. This is Lebanese Tips, debunking tips, coming to you live from London's Islington. The time now is God knows what because I've got a new phone and I'm using the recorder now at the moment. How do I check? Let's just double check. The time now is 13:57 on Sunday, the 30th of June. 13:57 Sunday, 30th of June. Only 30 days in June. And today is a day where I'm going to make my first attempt on this live podcast. Certainly not the first previously, but the first attempt to do a live podcast and give a British Lebanese challenge from this phone. And oh, sugar! I'm at a place where there's music, and I might get stopped from broadcasting, so I move away from here. Right, today there's some Copa America, and there's also today, tomorrow, and in the coming days over Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And there's also the Euro qualifying. So, kids in the square have just lit the whole square with their little blasters music. Right, might have to edit that last bit out. If I did edit it's because of the music that I've just played. It'll be my second time to attempt an edit, as all my broadcasts have been done live. And so today we're going to help you with selections that would be deemed as for your short listing for a possible British Lebanese challenge. What is a British Lebanese challenge? If you hashtag the word British Lebanese challenge, one word, hashtag it, you'll see some examples of selections I've given out to the public where I say I make an attempt to turn 1,000 to 10,000 over a period of certain days, choosing of my liking. You know, obviously, if you're putting down first time £1,000 stake betting folks, punters, traders, these will be for your considerations in shortlisting. Now, I am going to make this is going to be a very successful podcast because I feel very confident in coming onto the World Wide Web. Hope you enjoyed Major Pussy yesterday. 1 at 17 to 1. That itself was a selection that I should have told the public, and I always do normally, that wasn't selected via using the method that I always select to give out tips, any tips, whatever sport it is, which is the black operation, the psychological operation, and the NLP. And those are the tips that I give out. Sometimes I'll give biased tips. Rare do I give tips which I am attempting to debunk the algorithms. So although these algorithms are a major danger to mankind, and if you remember the word, you have to observe the words that I use sometimes, because the words that I use are important. Like with Italy and Switzerland, I did say the word danger for Switzerland, and they are a considerable force. And I've said in my previous podcasts, including my World Cup podcasts, that Switzerland is a credible force. Whenever you see them down in football, you know, work towards them coming back is a good flutter. So there'll be today. We're going to kick off the British Lebanese Challenge in raising awareness of the world's refugee crisis. And I'm going to, in a little bit, sit down somewhere and get this podcast going. So I'm getting the message out to all of you. Today there will be a significant day where I'll be debunking some selections for Copa America, for Euro Cup. And for those of you who are wondering why I'm doing more podcasts lately on flutters, it is only my interest with World Cup football, world events like event awareness, political betting, and horse racing, mainly with big events, you know, massive festive seasons and tournaments. So I drift a little bit because I've got so much I want to say, but this podcast will be for you to get the message out, right? There could be some investment here. I am confident of some selections, and I'll give you them in a format where you can put them in a lucky 31. If you're doing £1 lucky 31, you could probably follow one of the ones that I was giving out. I picked. I actually think that I tweeted it out. So if you look at the Twitter account, one word again, debunking tips, one word. You look at that and you click on reply so that you can see the messages properly. Because when you just click on the Twitter account of that individual, you don't see everything unless you click on reply. And that's where you see everything there. And so have a look at those selections I've tweeted out, and a little bit later we can do what? Gosh, I'm in London. I can't even find a coffee shop. We could do what our plans are for the British Lebanese Challenge. Now, I strongly urge that this is only a podcast for people who are over 18s. So if you're under 18s, yeah, you are not welcome here. And these flutters are for people over 18s only. And I strongly recommend people who do have a flutter to refrain from doing so. I have a wealth of research in tip service providers out there. I know how they function. I know how they make their money. I know roughly when they make their money. And I say, quit with these speculative flutters and just trying to find a place to have a coffee. Stick with people experienced with it like me. Yeah, I put my finger out there deliberately. Yeah, stop, quick, stop. You need to concentrate on my angle of debunking the gambling sector, which I will remind the public, when I used to have a Twitter account and I no longer have it, I was followed by apparently the world's most prominent tips service providers. They're like, they sponsor football teams and horse racing and all this kind of stuff. and they're called OLBG. They started following me, and I see a champion, one of their people who give out tips on their website, not their people, but people who apply on competitions and win money for giving out tips if they land first or second and stuff like that. And they started following me. So clearly, I felt the urge to tell you. When that happens, I'm going to tell the public about my findings because clearly I'm rocking the boat. Not only there, I've had my horse tracker alerts taken away and wiped out on over 3 occasions, I can tell you. One of them with a world's #1 bookmaker, and another one with a very well-known horse tracker alert firm. And I will stop at there. I've spoken about this in length, and I have been compensated by the world's #1 bookmaker to the tone of £200 for taking off my horse tracker. See if we can get some coffee in this place. And so, yeah, I'll have some coffee down there.
Iced oat matcha with 1 cup of vanilla. Do you have my grass cups as well? Oh, she's not listening. What do you think?
So I smell coffee. Look at that, coffee.
Yeah, vanilla only 1 cup.
Colombia. You watch Colombia, yeah? Tip number 1, everyone. Colombia and Brazil, both teams to score, dead certain. Put that on your list. Colombia being an anti-Zionist country, and Brazil being controlled by the Western powers. Brazil is more likely to do a one with what's that country called? Panama. Panama are playing. Panama are playing Bolivia. I would like them to perform, both teams to score. That will be one selection to put on your list for the trick suit or lucky 15 or lucky 31. So hold that thought there while I make an order of coffee. Hello, buddy. Can I have an Americano, white Americano large if possible, please? I'm going to sit outside if that's alright. Yeah, that's fine.
Ben hasta olabilirim.
My gosh, I got my finger stuck. So, only card, yeah?
It's so different.
Here we go.
I love the coffee, especially if you make it, it tastes amazing, I know. It's a different brand. Yeah.
Cheers, buddy. Nice one. So,
Cash for about year for years.
do you know, I was shocked with that. They take cash. Yeah. Can you imagine, no matter how much money you've got in your bank account right now, but once that electricity is gone, your business is going to suffer. And that electricity, that key word, once they take away that from us, there you go. Could you hear that live? Coming to you live from London's Islington, debunking the gambling sector before your very eyes. Oh, lovely. Yes, please. So we'll be completing the British Lebanese challenge. There's some anti-Zionist countries playing football today, and we'll be running through which ones to be doing what with. And if you know,
Oh, I
wow, thank you very
What's it
much.
called? What's that? What is it called?
If you know your geopolitical demographics of what's currently happening in the world, I have a question for you all later on as well. You'll have a better understanding in how to debunk the Copa America and Euro 2024 qualifying. What else we got here? Wow. Thank you. So I need a tissue to wipe that seat. It's been raining. Get the message out. I need a thousand followers on this podcast here. I'm not getting out as much because I'm a raw talker, and talking raw, especially when you're a British Lebanese Londoner and you're talking about the Middle East conflicts, then it becomes all the more significant to the community, the Lebanese community, the expats community. And I guess I speak a lot as an expat, growing up in Islington since 1973, since I was a kid, since I was about 3-4 years old. So today, and the reason why I say get the message out on my podcast, please, because I can't do these live podcasts. This podcast that I'm doing now can't work live now because it's got less than 1,000 on it, 1,000 followers on it. But I'm 2,000 away from 100,000 views, so it can't be that bad. And the reason is because all my podcasts are live and they're instant, spontaneous, and they're worth money, like Major Pussy was at 17-1 yesterday. So today is possible that we'll be turning £1,000 to £10,000. What I'm going to say is you've already received the dead certain tip that I believe will happen, and that is Colombia and Brazil, both teams to score, is a dead certain. And I also see Brazil. I also see Venezuela, along with Jamaica. I see some action from Jamaica. I was disappointed not to see anything come out of Costa Rica. I thought Costa Rica was an anti-Zionist type of country, but sometimes they go with the fashion of being told what to do. But I do know Colombia is definitely a anti-Zionist country. And on that note, Bolivia is also an anti-Zionist country. So when Bolivia is up against, who's Bolivia up against? Oh yeah, Panama. Yeah, I expect Panama to win. So that could be a combination in your Trixie or Lucky 15 or Lucky 31 for the both and Brazil. And so what else? I'm doing this from memory because I actually wrote this down in the book. I forgot to bring the book out. Isn't that great, isn't it? I actually wrote it down in the book, but forgot to bring the book out. But I took them down on the net, and I could surf. I found that I could surf this while searching for the selections, but it will go on a pause. So I believe it will go on a pause as I'm searching for it. So stay there and get the message out. I'll be doing a podcast with all the selections later, including a horse selection that I was given, and I'm sharing the love with. So stay tuned. Get the message out, and it's subscribers. Most of I get extraordinary viewers. I've had over 14,000 in the last 28 days. So, but the follower count is pretty bad. I've got 140 odd subscribers. There you go. I'm back. I only tip the public a place. In horse racing, I never tip the public for a selection in horses to win. That way I reduce the risk factor and open options up for a return bet. That's how I operate. So you get the message out. When you follow my tips and my advice and my advocating, you'll find that in both the short term and the long term, my tips are profitable. So if you get tips off of me, the positions to do are placed. So if one is given 3 places, you pick the bet on 3 places that pays for 3 places. Those of you who want to attempt 2 places, I can't. I will say that the second position. Right, right. Let's get this straight. Yeah, you all know this if you follow Lebanese Tips. If you follow my podcast, yeah, 3 positions or more. Yeah, you are laughing all the way to the bank. You are the most profitable tipped person from my tips. Full stop. Full stop. You're on a long-term, definite rise up, just like 14,000 viewers. I got one tweet I done. I got over 10,000 on it, and that's nothing to do with my sports tips. So today will be turning 1,000 to 10,000. If I haven't already done that in what I've just discussed so far, and I've only given a couple of tips. Now, Portugal. Play with the corners with Portugal. 7, 8 corners, 9 corners. Portugal is a country where they generate a lot of corners. Both teams to score is a good flutter as well. I would combine that with those other Colombia and Venezuela, both teams to score. Now, what else? Yeah, so this podcast is in preparation of the podcast that I will be doing, which will be debunking the rest of the whole of Copia America, from a black operation, a psychological operation, and a geopolitical, linguistical practitioner, NLP view in debunking these tips. And that's how I debunk them. Yeah, I don't know names of selections. all these names of football players, all these trainers of horses, names of horses, speeds, all your statistics, all that to me is a load of absolute bollocks. I don't take none of that. I just look at the selection. I look at the time of the day that it's racing or playing or starting. It's a helicopter up there, and it's not an emergency helicopter. The ambulance helicopter. So it could be a governmental one. Yeah, none of that. I just do it from a completely set formula, and nobody does it like me. I've seen all over social media. Nobody debunks the gambling sector in the way that I do. And talking of debunking the gambling sector, I noticed Marine Le Pen for the presidential elections. I've spoken about it in my podcast before. There's a guy called Zimmerman, or Zimmerman, whatever. Very, very extremist character. They seem to be in fashion at the moment. I should think he's worth backing for winning seats in parts of France. I should also think that, I mean, I'm still on Marine Le Pen becoming president. I still think Nigel Farage has a strong. He's going to win seats. He's going to win places. Who knows? I think when George Galloway mentioned Penny Mordaunt was going to be Prime Minister and he turned out wrong, I do wonder whether... you see, this is it. There are those out there that are throwing out some spin, and it is their job to throw out spin. And they get paid for it significant amounts of money off bookmakers across the world to change the outcome. Just checking my battery. And one of them was Scott Ritter yesterday. He keeps bigging up that country there. Georgia. Is it Georgia? I think Georgia is playing, aren't they, somewhere? I've missed them out for somehow. Stay there, let me see. Check there. Stay there. This might pause as I'm flicking from screens. Right, I'm not sure if I was on pause there, but I'll come back to it. An article came through from Lebanon today about a stone, an ambient stone, and how these are worth a lot of money. I don't know if you know what ambient stones are. They are some kind of ancient parts of animals like dinosaurs and stuff like that, and they just end up remolding and reshaping, and they just look very attractive gemstones. And some of them are worth a lot of money. I think it's something like that anyway. And so they were saying how some of them are very, very ancient, like millions of years old. And so that article there is a horse racing today. I've just mentioned it whilst I was selecting it. I don't know whether it paused, but it's at 4:05 Catterick today, or 16:05 GMT local time. Ambient something ambient there. Have a look at it there. 1605. It has the word ambient on it. I forget. So I've announced a dead certain. I believe another dead certain that I'm going to announce is a dead certain for Colombia and Brazil, dead certain for Venezuela and Jamaica, both teams to score. First time £1,000 stake backers. This is for your consideration. As I said, Portugal as well with Slovakia. There's a possibility for that both teams to score. You may want to slip that into a Trixie with ambient stone or ambient star or something like that. Or the 1605 Catterick. Everybody filming today. And talking of filming, check that.
3 years ago, right? It would come up on this. Do you understand? Yeah. That's like in the London Met.
Bit of local art. And then there's even more. So those bets there, I suggest we kick off the British Lebanese Challenge. Welcome if you've just joined us. If you don't know what the British Lebanese Challenge is, it's turning £1,000 to £10,000 over selections that I will debunk and present to you on this podcast. And later on today, I'll give you the rest of them so that we could compile a lucky 31. Look up my debunking tips account. I mentioned it earlier on Twitter. I've presented a couple of those examples there for you. What else? Just trying to see if I can add value. Yeah, the next podcast that I'll be doing will be in excess of an hour. It may be a visual or an audio podcast. And I will be debunking the rest of the Copa America selections. So, what else could we say? Yeah, I think I'll terminate it right now, yeah. Message out today is I'm raising awareness of the world's refugee crisis. It's going out to all expats across the world, all the indigenous countries who are finding it difficult in this world that we live in. I'm doing these podcasts because of special occasions, special events that happen during the year where I up the ante and come in on my knowledge of the gambling sector and share my knowledge. And as I said to you, if companies like the world's #1 tip service provider called OLBG.com start to follow me and they follow my tips, I'm obviously rocking a boat somewhere. And there are others, there's celebrity names I won't go into now, it's not important. Some of them are subscribed to me as well. Some of them are actually in the business. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But if I'm rocking a boat there, then it's my duty to share that with the public. So I advocate And I ask you to pay attention to the rest of my podcast today, where we can complete those selections and hopefully work towards turning £1,000 to £10,000. So those selections that I've given you today, hold them thoughts there, and let's see if we can add the rest of them. Add some horse selections that I'll look up. There will be some activity going on this evening. If I get some serious, you know, result out of these podcasts, I'll come in and I'll attempt to debunk another area of the sports section, just to prove to the public that it is not about horses, it is not about football. I'm a Tottenham fan. I'm a Tottenham supporter from childhood because my dad used to work for Tottenham Football Ground. My dad is a wine expert. He was a wine expert, and that's why I'm a Tottenham supporter. So being a Muslim and a Tottenham supporter is one thing, isn't it? Who knows? Not even knowing what that means today, which can be offensive. So I'm the old school person. And bear that in mind when you watch my podcast. I'm old school person, raw talking, Cockney speaking, British Lebanese Londoner. And on that note, I bid you a good day.